Welcome to the SEO plus AI show. My name is Josh Baczynski, and with me I have my co-host Greg. Say hi there, Greg.
Hey, Josh.
If you've never seen the SEO plus AI show before, we talk about all the advancements in SEO and AI. All right, so today we want to talk about the review update. So Google has recently put out many updates, all of them artificial intelligence based. All of them are no joke, but none least of which is the review update that Google has just released. Now, Greg will attest to this in Underground SEO University, where we reverse engineer Google's algorithms and we test their AIs. We figure out exactly what's going on. When they put out the product review AI a few years ago, I said, this is not just going to be for products. Greg can attest if this is a truth or lies. So this is a Josh truth or lies moment. If Greg can either throw me under the bus here and say, oh yes, he did. Years ago, I said, this is not just going to be for products. They're going to roll this out for services, for affiliate pages, for any kind of page in where you're reviewing something. And that could be very broadly applied. It's not just affiliate pages, any kind of page where you're reviewing something. Did I not say that, Greg?
You did say it.
Awesome.
I remember when you said it because I'm in, a non-product niche, and I'm like, okay, well, this is probably gonna pertain to me, so maybe I should listen to Josh here. And so I made the adjustments back then, and did not get hit by review updates. So it's good, and that's one of the benefits of being in the mentorship.
Wow, he even gave me a little plug for the group. Wow, fantastic. Thanks, Greg. But yes, I did say this. And yes, it is good to be in Underground SEO University. If you want to know more about Underground SEO University, email me at joshbaczynski@gmail.com with yes in the subject line, or special sauce. Sometimes I like special sauce, and I will show you the special sauce. But how did I know that? The question is how? How, Josh? How did you know this? Is it because you've been in SEO for 25 years before Google was in it? Not really. Is it because you've been reverse engineering their AIs for decades? And well, they didn't have AIs 2 decades ago, but you've been they did machine learning, but you've been reverse engineering their algorithms for over 2 decades, and you've been reverse engineering their AIs for the last 10 to 5 years. No, not that either. It's because I've been using OpenAI's GPT. GPT is a transformer, and the phrase transformer was first made by, now this is very important, so keep watching, guys. This is very important to understand for SEO. Google first made the transformer when they made BERT, their bidirectional encoder representations from transformer. A transformer basically takes all the grammar of a language, encodes it into math, and then because they've now got it into math, they can decode it into new sentences. They take sentences, they get a mathematical representation of it, and then they can decode it, and then they can encode it into new sentences. That's all a transformer does, and that's what ChatGPT does. ChatGPT is based on GPT. And I was on OpenAI's GPT way back when they opened the demo. I helped build ChatGPT. They machine learned it off of some of my hundreds and hundreds of prompts, plus many other users, not just myself, of course. And so I knew exactly what a transformer can do. And I'm like, wow, okay, it's easy. You just ask the transformer, hey, can you look at this content and tell me if it's a good product review? Does it have this? Does it have that? Does it have this? Does it have that? And that is something that a transformer is very, very good at doing, and that we're going to show you today, that a transformer is very good. It is the perfect measuring stick. It is the perfect amalgamation of everybody's opinion, right? So if you're trying to get GPT or a transformer to give you specific knowledge or specialist knowledge, it can't do that. It can't tell you what stocks are going to be good next year. It can't tell you how to do SEO. It can't tell you how to do surgery. It can't tell you how to do high-level programming. Not really, kind of, but not really. They've trained it on quite a bit of a corpus there. But if anyone's tried to program something in ChatGPT, they know that it's not super perfect. And so you can't get it to do high-level stuff on its own, high-level expertise stuff, because there's just not enough of that information in its corpus to do it. And there's different kinds of reasoning and different kinds of thinking it needs to do that ChatGPT just can't do out of the box, right? But if you need GPT or any transformer to give you a consolidation of everyone's opinion as to what may be spammy or not spammy, what is quality or not quality, what is good or what is bad, it can do that in spades all day long. And so I knew when I saw the product review update that okay, obviously they have a transformer doing this. It was probably BERT at the time or POM T5. Just running the page through the transformer. The transformer is reading the whole page, and it's giving sort of a grade or an idea, a classification. That's what that's called. It's a classification. It's giving a classification of whether this page is of high quality or low quality, whether it has the helpfulness or not, whether it has experience, expertise, authority, and trust, whether or not it's a good review based on these certain criteria. So now that we know how they're doing it, they're definitely doing it with a transformer. I'm going to show you today how you can reverse engineer it and how you can use ChatGPT to look at the whole huge list of helpfulness, of experience, of expertise, authority, and trust that Google gives us, and the new review that Google gives us. And I'll modify it on the fly because I had already built it for something else. And I'll show you how in ChatGPT you can take a look at a page, you could take a look at a document, and it will give you back this information, which is quite impressive, quite interesting. So let's go here to ChatGPT. Now, which model would be best to do this? I think the way I built this was using the browsing alpha model. Now, not all of you might have access to the browsing alpha model, and not all of you may have access to GPT-4. You probably have access to the default 3.5 Turbo. I can modify it later on to show you how it would work with this, but just to make it easy, I'll probably do it here. So now let me go here. So here's what I wrote, and this is what I wrote for helpfulness, and then we're going to add the review into this. So this is how you'd want to build a prompt like this. And before I get into this whole thing, just FYI, this is all built into our tool Keyword Spy. Keyword Spy asks all these questions in various different ways and builds all the content based on these questions in various different ways. And if you're like, what are these questions, Josh? These are all the questions that Google asks you. So if you don't know what Keyword Spy is, 10-second, literally a 10-second plug. Keyword Spy is our on-page tool that Greg and I have engineered. It is completely a next-generation AI-based tool. It is as smart as an SEO consultant. It will give you SEO consultant decisions based on my 25 years experience and my 5 years reverse engineering AI as a general and my 20 years reverse engineering Google's algorithms in general. It is the best keyword on-page tool on the planet. You could try it free for 2 weeks. Go to trykeywordspy.com. And it has a lot of things built into it, not the least of which is all of these questions from Google in various ways. We use this in various ways, in different ways, of how all this works. And these questions are all directly from Google, like, is it self-evident to your visitors who authored your content? Are you using extensive automation to produce it? The high-quality product review questions. Demonstrate you're knowledgeable on the products, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what changed here. It's the product section that changed recently with the review update. And this will be the section that I'll be changing. And then we're going to plug it into ChatGPT and give it a web page and see how ChatGPT thinks how high quality that page is. So folks who are watching, if you want us to do your page, please put it in the chat. First come, first serve. If you want us to take a look at your own page, please by all means put it in the chat and we can take a look at it. And as you can see here, I've made it for the browse model. Now you might be like, Josh, I didn't know you could go with ChatGPT Turbo and go to a web page and do that. You can't. You have to have the browsing alpha to do it. So there's the top of the page you got to cover, you got to give it, and there's a web page you got to give it to assess it. You could rewrite this prompt to not do this, and you just have to break it into smaller chunks. I want to do it all at once. This is what I want to do. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to product. I'm going to find to where it has the high quality review page suggestions is how I'm going to change this. Can you say yes to suggestions written on 1 to 10 scale? Did the page do this? Evaluate the product or service. Provide the review from a user's perspective. Demonstrate you're knowledgeable about the products or services the subject reviewed. Show you're an expert. Provide evidence such as visuals, audio, or other links of your own experience with the subject to support your expertise and reinforce the authenticity of your review. Share quantitative measurements about how the subject measures up in various categories of performance. Product or service. Really, this is a product or service. Actually, I'm not going to say that. I want to keep it general because the review does not just apply to product services, if applicable. Explain what sets the product or service or subject reviewed apart from its competitors. Cover comparable products or services to consider, or explain which might be best, which product or service might be best for certain uses or circumstances. Discuss the benefits and drawbacks of a particular subject reviewed based on your own original research. Useful pros and cons. Described how the subject reviewed has evolved from previous iterations to provide improvements, address issues, and otherwise help users making a purchase decision. Identify key decision-making factors for the subject's category and how the subject performs in those areas. For example, a car review might determine that fuel economy, safety, and handling are key decision-making factors and rate performance in those areas. Describe key choices in how the subject reviewed has been designed and their effect on the users beyond what the manufacturer says. Include links to other useful resources beyond what the manufacturer or original sources or other experts say. Include links to other useful resources, your own or from other sites, to help a reader make a decision. Consider including links to multiple sellers, if applicable. Consider including links to multiple sellers to give the reader the option to purchase from their merchant of choice, where applicable, or to other potential pages on your site. This is from the new review thing, which we're going to go over in a second. When recommending the subject reviewed, the subject that is reviewed on this page as the best overall or the best for a certain purpose, include why you consider this thing the best. I'll just say product, service, et al., which means etc. The best with first-hand supporting evidence. Ensure there's enough useful content in your ranked lists for them to stand on their own, even if you choose to write separate, in-depth, single reviews for each recommended product, service, et al. Okay, so that's changing the original. Describe key choices and how the subject reviewed. Okay, so now we've changed that over. Now what I want to do is I want to quickly dip into the review I did for the review. Now you notice here, it says you want to have an expert staff member or a merchant, right? So write high quality review. So I'm going to go here and find the original Google. Write high quality reviews, Google. Here we are. Okay, here it is. Now here's how they changed it. That was from the old one, which I'm going to maintain. I'm going to retain it because none of it can hurt, right? Of asking ChatGPT to rate content in those various different ways. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's. And we're going to make sure it has this information in it as well, which is considerably smaller, which is interesting, Greg. They've shortened it from the last one. Some of them are still there, but some of them are not. Okay. So it says publishing high quality reviews can help people learn about considering such as product, services, destinations, games, movies, and other topics. For example, you could write a review as, okay. So I'm going to go here. Is this review from a reputable person who talks a lot and is an expert in this topic. That's what I get here when I read this, is that really they want an editorial staff member, an expert staff member, or a blogger. They say you can be a merchant, but they don't say an affiliate site. Does this seem like a spammy affiliate site? Extra review questions. Failing this, is it from a merchant, a reputable merchant? Does this seem like a spammy affiliate site? We asked it to evaluate from the user's perspective already. We told it to demonstrate that you are knowledgeable on this. We said to provide evidence. We said to share quantitative measurements. We explained what sets it apart from the competitors. We told it to cover comparable things. We told it to discuss the benefits and drawbacks. We told it to do this. We told it to do this. We told it to describe key choices or to rate whether our page is doing that. We told it to include links. Yeah. Does this page include links to other resources, their own, or from other sites to help a reader make a decision? We did the links to multiple sellers. We told it to tell me why. We said ensure there is enough useful content in your rank list. Okay, we've done all that. So the only thing we really needed to add was this. That was the only thing that was missing to that prompt. Okay. All right. So now we have the prompt built. It is 1,400 words. That is just under the 2,000 word limit that ChatGPT will allow. And I could do it by giving it the web page here. So has anyone in the chat given us a page to look at here? Let me know if in the page, in the chat, you've given me a page to look at. Urain says, all right, caught it live. Okay, there's no, guys, so if you want me to look at one of your pages live, put it in the chat right now, and I will tell you whether or not ChatGPT can rate it as to whether or not it has helpfulness, expertise, authority, experience, trust, whether it is helpful, whether it has the proper review stuff, because there's going to be an AI. Here's the point. There's going to be an AI that looks for all of this. There is an AI that is looking for these specific words that you need to say. So if you're listening live and you have a page you want me to do, put it in the chat. Otherwise, I can pick one. Greg, you want to use one of yours or should I use one of mine?
Let's wait to see if there's anyone watching that
sure
is willing to do one up.
What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take, so it could be on any page. You're like, any page, Josh? Yes. I have a free philosophy course from myself that I offer. So I'm going to take this page and I'm going to ask it how well this page adds up. It's very short. It's to the point. I'm going to ask it what it thinks about this page, whether my page has quality, expertise, authority, and trust. So we're going to go boom here. Topic of page to cover, free philosophy courses. All right, Control A, Control C. Now we're going to go here, and see, is this going to work? And Control Enter. Is it too long? All right, it's browsing the web. It's going to the page. Let's see if this is going to work. If you have a page you want me to do, guys, put it in the chat, and we will take a look at it. Now, sometimes this browsing gets caught up. Oh, it's read my page. And it says, based on the content provided on the webpage, free philosophy courses, study, blah, blah, blah. Here's the rating for each of the question suggestions on a scale of 1 to 10, followed by a total percentage score. Content quality questions. Does the content provide original information, reporting, research, or analysis? Score 6 out of 10. Does the content provide a substantial, complete, or comprehensive description of the topic? 8 out of 10. Does the content provide insightful analysis or interesting information that is beyond the obvious? Score 5 out of 10. No, it's very short. If the content draws on other sources, does it simply avoid copying and rewriting them? 6 out of 10. It thinks my page is a little light, which is not surprising. It is a little light. Does the main heading or page title provide a descriptive, helpful summary of the content? Score 10 out of 10. Yes, it does. Look at my H1. Look how big my H1 is. So you see, this is not just making things up. It is giving you an actual real rating of what it thinks is going on based on the opinions of all the SEOs out there. Does the main heading or page title avoid exaggerating or being shocking? 9 out of 10. Is this the sort of page you'd want to bookmark, share a friend with, or recommend? 8 out of 10. Would you expect to see this content in or referenced by a printed magazine? Not really. 7 out of 10. See, that's a bit of a lower score. Does the content provide substantial value when compared to other pages and results? 7 out of 10. Expertise questions. Does the content present information in a way that you want to trust it? It says 9 out of 10 based on my authorship because it knows who I am. If you ask ChatGPT who I am, it knows who I am. If someone researched the site producing the content, would they come away with an impression that it is well trusted or widely recognized as an authority? 8 out of 10. Yes, a little bit higher. Is the content written by an expert or enthusiast who knows the topic well? Yes, 9 out of 10. It knows who I am. Does the content have any easily verified factual errors? 9 out of 10. No factual errors are evident, but because I digress and I change how I talk about philosophy in the way the rest of the industry does, you notice it didn't give me a 10 out of 10. And it knows this because it knows the general opinion of general information. Presentation and production questions. Does the content have any spelling or stylistic issues? Nope. Is the content produced well or does it appear sloppy or hastily produced? 8 out of 10. It is a little short. Is the content mass-produced by or outsourced to a large number of creators? 9 out of 10. It appears to be unique and not mass-produced. Does the content have an excessive amount of ads that distract or interfere with the main content? Nope. 10 out of 10. No ads present. You see? It actually kind of knows what's going on here. Does the content display well for mobile devices when viewed on them? Score 8 out of 10. Now, focus on people first content. It decided to collapse 19 to 37. Average score 8 out of 10, assuming the page aligns with most of these guidelines. So it can just summarize it for you. High quality review page suggestions, 38 to 53, multiple suggestions. Average score 7 out of 10, assuming the page meets some of these suggestions, but not all. You could also tell it to drill down a bit more. Total percentage score. The average score across all question suggestions is 8 out of 10. Therefore, the total percentage is 80%. Please note that some of the assumptions were made in scoring the question suggestions due to limited information available on the webpage. Additionally, some questions, I'll just say, please continue. Additionally, some questions were grouped together in an average score as they were repetitive or similar in nature. As with all assessments, the evaluation is subjective and may be based on the perspective of the reviewer, blah, 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 blah. And it says, it's important to note that certain questions were not fully applicable to the specific type of content on the page. For example, it wasn't review-related suggestions for a non-review page. Therefore, this assessment serves as a general guideline rather than a definitive evaluation. I think they're being weak on themselves. I think it's a little bit better than a general guideline. And I would agree entirely that I shouldn't get any more than an 8 out of 10. Yes, Google knows I'm all about ethics. I've been talking about ethics for almost as long as I've been talking about SEO. But is my page thin? For sure. For sure it's thin. So what do you think about that, Greg? I think that's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, I think it is. The challenge to do this is obviously most of us don't have access to this browser feature, and so we have to copy and paste these articles in. Yeah, and I've tried it myself, and it's a pain. There's a lot of questions you're asking it, plus the article itself. So, yeah, it would be nice if there's a way to do this, and I think Keyword Spy is addressing that. But I think this is super cool and helpful. I've run it on a few of my pages, and it's given me insights on what to key in on to improve. And I've seen boosts, so I really like it.
Yeah, and I would take it seriously. Like when it gives me a 7 out of 10, that's a low review, and some of the ones up here were even worse. It was giving me occasionally stuff like 6 out of 10 here in some places, or 5 out of 10.
I'm aiming for 8. If it's below 8, basically I'm looking at that and trying to improve it. Yep, 7, 6, 5s, all of those. Yeah. Occasionally you'll see like 0 out of 10, 4 out of 10, but not too often. But yeah, if it's like 5, 6, 7, definitely key in on those and trying to improve that. Yes, this is pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I would agree. I do not trust ChatGPT when I tell it to just write content out of the box. I do not trust ChatGPT when I tell it to tell me how to do SEO, because those are specialist things that you need a specialist to do. But if you're trying to get a litmus test as to the general opinion of the herd, if you're trying to get a litmus test, the amalgamation of everyone's common opinion as to what is quality or not, or spammy or not, this is the perfect tool to do it. It is absolutely engineered for this. It is absolutely perfect and truthful for this. Now, regarding what you said about Browse, you're absolutely right. I had to use Browse to do it. But the alpha will be released to everybody eventually, right? This is their killer app. This is their killer app. This is what they're going to compete with Google with. This is going to be their search agent. This is going to be their auto GPT. This is going to be their AGI eventually. So this will be released to everyone eventually. And you're right. You have to do it you'd have to do very complex token management. You'd have to put in the page, limit the page down, or analyze the page in certain ways with certain just sections of questions. As many questions as you can fill in, and you'd have to record a score and have it programmatically working. This is what we're going to be building in Keyword Spy.
Yeah, I'd be curious what folks think of another dial, another meter, whatever you want to call it, a grade system on top of the keyword grading that we have currently.
Yeah.
The dial, and we're adding another one, and then plus this sort of heat, we'll call it.
Yes.
Metric, if you will. Then love to hear what people think. It's something I haven't seen on the market, anyone addressing this. So
yeah, I agree completely. I think this is awesome, and you know why it's awesome? Let me tell you. As human beings, we are usually terrible at marking ourselves, looking at our own pages. As John Mueller and Google has said, we're typically terrible at looking at our own stuff and being honest and fair with ourselves about how high quality our pages are or how high quality our pages are not. We look at our page every day and we're like, oh yeah, it's great. It doesn't need to change. It's perfect. It's fine. It's good enough. And that's not the mentality you need to take. You need to take it's never good enough mentality and always be making it better. This is a way to get concrete examples and concrete specific things that you can work on that come directly from Google. And so with the highest degree of certainty, without actually a single variable testing it, which we also do in Underground SEO University, that this is exactly what Google's looking for, and this is exactly what I should be doing. So it's very important to get that right.
I think one question that most people have, and you brought it up in the beginning, is how does this actually how is it similar to how Google is looking at the page? And I think people are like, well, this is ChatGPT. That's a Microsoft or a OpenAI or a Bing thing. The technologies are completely different. It's not Google, but as you explained, it is because it's a transformer base. So I think that's like a key thing that you explain things very high level that sophisticated people need to understand, but maybe dumb it down for people a little bit like me, in a way that we all can just say, oh, okay, yeah, these are apples to apples we're comparing here. This isn't a waste of time. This actually is how Google looks at this page.
Yeah,
you don't have to do it right now. I'm not putting you on the spot. You can, do it at some other show or something. But I think it's definitely, for guys like me who just are, not as advanced in this AI world yet. We need sort of a dumbed down version, if you will.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you saying that, and I can address that right now. No, you're totally correct. A transformer is a transformer. All transformers operate the same. A Ford and a GMC drive exactly the same. They're totally different technologies by different companies, but they drive exactly the same on the same roads. You can't say that for everything in SEO. You cannot say that for everything in SEO. That's why in Keyword Spy, we don't just use an off-the-shelf open source NLP to choose our keywords. We actually build you your own model for RankBrain, neural matching, and BERT, helpful content, and review content. Because those are the six AIs that actually do all of the on-page, and we build you your own models for them. That's why the testing takes so long in Keyword Spy. So in those cases, it's an apples oranges, and you need to have those proper entities, those proper keywords from the proper actual used models of the actual used AIs that Google's using for on-page. Again, that's rank, grade, neural batching, BERT, helpful, and review AI. To say the least, not to also mention the DOM vector AI, whatever they call that, their machine learning on the DOM, on HTML, the knowledge graph that ties into the KGMID stuff that local guys are doing. All those are built into on-page because also that has to do with the HTML in the background as well. However, in this case, we are apples to apples because we took the actual questions that Google wrote themselves, and the way they're worded, I can tell this is exactly how they prompted the transformer. They're using a transformer to see if it's helpful or has a good review, to see if it has the expertise, experience, and authority and trust, the way the other consensus of experts do. If you read the white paper, the patent on the mountaintop, Bill Slawski, God rest his soul, called it the mountaintop algorithm. They're using transformers and neural NLPs to do this. That's exactly how you would prompt a transformer. Is these questions here is exactly how you would prompt a transformer. Does the content provide original information, reporting, research, or analysis? That's what they're asking their transformer, I am sure, or something very close to this. This is very close to what Google is actually doing. I am very sure, because there's just no other way to do it. This is how a transformer works. This is how you would get it to classify. It would be doing this or something very, very similar to it. And so because this is apples to apples, because this is the actual questions that comes from Google, because it is a transformer, and a transformer is a transformer. A truck is a truck, whether it's made by GMC or Ford, it doesn't matter. It still drives the same, despite people saying a Ford is better or not, whatever. They're the same thing, really. A transformer is a transformer. They're going to classify it the same, and they're going to prompt it the same. So that's why this is super, super important to use, and a good suggestion of your blind spots of stuff that you're like, hey, you know what? I thought I was providing insightful analysis and interesting information that was beyond the obvious. I thought I was doing that, but it says I'm not. Why not? You can drill down. You can say, why did you give me a 5 out of 10 for number 3? I could say that, for example. Why did you give me a 5 out of 10 for number 3? What exactly can I do to get better there? I don't even have to fix the typos. And it'll think about it for a second. So it says, for question 3, does the content provide insightful analysis or interesting information that is beyond the obvious? I gave this score because while the webpage does provide information about free philosophy courses and the instructor's qualifications, the content appears to be more focused on providing an overview and promotional material for the free philosophy courses rather than offering in-depth analysis or unique insights into the subject of philosophy. Dead on correct. Dead on correct. That's exactly what I'm doing on that page. It says the information presented seems relatively basic and does not delve into specific philosophical concepts, ideas, or debates that would offer readers more insight into the field of philosophy. Totally right. I made that as a conscious choice because it was a sales page to get people into the free philosophy course.
Yeah, you're thinking, well, why would I water it down with all this info that people probably don't care about on a page like that, right? Yeah.
And the reason why I would do it is because Google does. Google cares about it. So this is how you would structure it. So this is a great question. How would you structure a sales page in that regard? What I would do is that I know this page converts really well because I get a lot of people signing up for my free philosophy course, right? So I wouldn't want to make this any longer. What I could do is I could make a floating call to action button to join the Discord for free. And then what I would do is underneath this content right here before these links, I would put more content underneath. So you have the sign up higher to the top and you have your SEO content underneath. That's the standard way you would make a sales page like this. As to the suggestions it gives me, these are not bad either. It says include in-depth analysis, share your unique perspective, provide excerpts or samples. What a great idea. What a great idea that I never thought of. And highlight real-life applications about where you can use philosophy. Not just for flipping burgers. You could use philosophy for different things. This is great. If it comes to improving content quality, ChatGPT is the bomb. ChatGPT is really good. The only thing in SEO it does really well is telling you how to improve quality and what you could possibly do to make it better. That's the only thing in SEO it does really well out of the box. Everything else you have to have an expert such as myself or Greg prompt it in a certain way to get a certain answer and give it the expertise. So do you guys have any questions about that? Let's see what questions we got going on here. Carol says, my mind is blown. Just pick one. Steven says, just pick one also. Eder says, I sent it. Carol says, oh my God, absolutely incredible. You can literally create a map to improvement without blind guessing or a zillion hours of research to figure it out. Yes, exactly, Carol. This is a huge, cool thing. This is super, super cool, right? So, this is built into Keyword Spy. You can also use this in Underground SEO University. All you need to do is to remake this prompt is just go and find all the questions from Google and put them in here. If you want to do this with 3.5 though, you're going to need to, you can't use the browsing alpha. You're going to need to, it's a bit of a pain, as Greg said. You're going to need to toggle between them. But give me more pages. Someone said they sent one. Put it in the chat if you want us to take a look at one of your URLs. Let's also go and look at it. So while you guys are putting it in the chat, let's see another place where it marked me really lowly. Put a page in the chat for us to take a look at, or Greg, you can get one ready for yourself here.
Yeah, I was going to bring up another point of what this could possibly just lead into. And
sure.
Number one, obviously, looking at a page like this is just not being done. Like people look at title tags, meta descriptions, headings,
right?
The basics of a page from an SEO perspective,
right?
But this is like brand new in terms of how to evaluate pages, and then
completely,
how do you stack up against your competition? Is there some correlation between pages that are in the top 10 and your page based on this actual score?
Yes,
and that's something we'll be building in as well.
Right, with the heat bar, the heat dial.
Yes, so you have a comparison of your competitors and what you have, and then you can really start benchmarking things and seeing
yes
what you need to do. That's the key to this, and to do that manually would be a pain in the
completely.
Doing your own page is kind of hard. And then to bring it even further, can we even suggest how to fix? I know ChatGPT can do it, but can we in the tool say, oh, you have a 5 out of 10? Well, this is what you need to do.
Completely.
Insert it. Actually do it for you.
Yeah, completely. So on the lowest scored ones, on the 3 lowest scored ones, then it will follow up like I'm doing down here. The prompt will follow up and say, like I did here. Explain why they got a 5 out of 10 for number 3, and exactly what can they do to get better. And I'll do the same thing. Same question for this one, and it will just drill down for all of them. So it says, for this question, scored out of 10, 6 out of 10 was given because WebPage primarily serves as a promotional page for free philosophy courses offered by the instructor, Josh Brzezinski. While it does include information about the courses and the instructor's background and qualifications, the content appears to be more of an overview and invitation to join the course rather than providing original research or analysis on philosophical topics, right? So in order to make it better, showcase original research. If the instructor or the course creators have conducted original research in the field of philosophy, which I have, consider highlighting key findings or contributions to the field. There you go, boom. This can include summaries of research papers, studies, or unique philosophical theories developed by the instructor. Include exclusive content. Consider providing exclusive content such as original essays or articles written by the instructor. A great idea. Share course development insights. Provide commentary on current events. Oh, I would have never even thought of that. Interesting. I would never even thought of that. So that's a great suggestion. So, this is so good because the AI doesn't lie. The AI looks at it impartially and rates it against the opinion of everyone for which it was trained. And so it keeps you honest, and it makes you realize, you know what, I thought I was doing great on this. I thought I'd give myself a 10 out of 10 at all of this, but I guess I just don't have the substantial value that I thought I had. I guess that, this is not good enough to appear in a magazine or a book. I'm not doing good enough quality content, because that's what Google, read between the lines for this. This is Google. This is Google saying, I got this right from Google. This is Google saying, this is the barrier of entry, dude. If you want to rank number 1, you better be good enough to be in a printed magazine, encyclopedia, or a book. Because if you're not, the first competitor that does this is going to outrank you, right? And it's a race amongst you and your competitors. Steven says, we're all just dust in the wind, dude. Then he says, philosophy. Awesome. Okay, so let's try another page and see how well it goes. Let me try another page here. Let me edit this. Any particular page you want to do, Greg?
Yeah, I'm going to send one over.
Sure.
I was trying to add it on YouTube, but I can't figure out how to do that.
Just put it in the chat.
Yeah, I will.
So guys, whatever SEO questions you have, please put them in the chat. I'd be happy to answer them if you're watching live. And if you're not watching live, please subscribe and click the bell so that you know when we're going live, or follow me on Twitter. I also share it on Twitter, usually first, that we're going live at a certain time, at Josh Bashinsky, twitter.com/Josh Bashinsky. My full name, you can see it spelled there, Joshb is a Bob, ACHYNSKI. Okay, so here we got restaurants. Ooh, for LaGuardia. All right, so boom, here's the page. Nope, that's not the page. There's the page. There's the topic. And away we go. Uh-oh, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Okay, new chat. Reload this. Sometimes this happens. Reload it. Boom, put it in. Boom, go. So now it's browsing the web. Now it's going to go look at your page. And this is the future of ChatGPT, by the way. If you're like, this is a weird thing that they'll never release. No, that you'll never have access to. No, you will definitely have access to this. This is their killer app. This is their Auto GPT. This is their AGI. This is their taking on Google. They're not going to have a search engine. They're going to have a search agent that does searches for you and does all the research for you, like a personal secretary, and comes back and can kind of think about it on their own a little bit. If you watched our Auto GPT question from Auto GPT broadcast from last time, you're going to see kind of how it thinks about it. So here we go, Greg. Do you provide original information, reporting, analysis? 7 out of 10. Does the content provide substantial, complete, or comprehensive description of the topic? 8 out of 10. 6 out of 10 on insightful analysis and stuff that's beyond the obvious. If you draw on other sources, do you avoid rewriting it? It says the content is based on the author's firsthand knowledge and experience. Does the main heading or page title provide a descriptive, helpful summary of the content? 9 out of 10. Good. So that means your SEO titles are done well. Of course they are. Does the main heading or page title avoid exaggerating or being shocking in nature? Yes. You notice this? You don't want to be shocking in nature in the title. That the AI is looking for that. That's something I'm a little guilty of. I've gone and taught to be very sensational in your meta description, in your title, in your H1. That's something where I have to remember the AI is looking for this specifically now. They do think it is not book worthy. 7 out of 10 for bookmarking it, and 7 out of 10 for substantial value. There's lack of information about the author, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't have an author.
Yeah.
I didn't add it yet. For some context, I literally built this page with our methods using, generate article with some prompt rewriting and some an expertise prompt that I came up with, just to try to, let Google know that I'm giving a first person, real world experience of each page. Yeah,
and it saw that. It said that here.
And it's indexed and ranked within a week. So I was very impressed. In a brand new domain. It wasn't anything that was like, had backlinks or anything like that. I got some background noise.
It's no problem.
So
no problem. Your dog is doing what your dog should do, protecting the house. That's what the dog should do. Protecting the house from the blender, it sounds like. The evil blender. That's all right. Yeah, so that's a good point. The content improver in Keyword Spy, I think, is a very underutilized tool for people using Keyword Spy. And if you're wondering what the heck that is, let me show you here while this is writing out. And if you take a look here, in content editor, there's a generate article button that generates the article in one click. This is based on 3.5 Turbo right now. We're going to move it over to GPT-4. It does a really good job in automatically generating everything for you. It'll do URL, your title, your meta description. You give it an angle if you have a sales angle. You give perks like, oh, we're doing 30% off right now. You tell it where in the sales cycle you want to be, top of the funnel, middle, or bottom. And you say, give it the heading, and it'll do all that for you. But the content improver button, if you highlight some content and improve it, it does really well in avoiding AI detection. Probably the best content writer on the planet for avoiding AI detection. And as Greg said, he used the improver on this, and it indexed and ranked within a week, as he said, for a brand new site. The cross-off is the improver is making it less SEO predictable. So it's going to give you some great scores on this, like we saw here, firsthand and knowledgeable, but it's and like the main headings are done and whatnot, but it's not necessarily going to be the best in terms of hitting your content scores and things like that. So it's an interesting discussion that we're going to continue to have on the show. But let's see what else you got here. It says there's lack of information about the author. No information provided about the site's reputation. The author claims to have first-hand knowledge and experience. It has no obvious factual errors, but it's starting to think it's kind of spammy. 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 for amounts of ads that distract. It says there's a presence of ads at the top. Is this correct? Do you have ads on that page?
Not yet, and it shouldn't. No, I don't think I even.
Interesting. So what does it think is an ad?
Could be Cloudflare. I don't know. And there could be some. The way I built these sites, it's.
Do you mind if I look at it?
They're like template based. Yeah.
Yeah. It thinks this is an ad.
It does?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it thinks. This is what it thinks is an ad. So if ChatGPT thinks this is an ad, Google probably doesn't, but it could. It might think this is an ad. Or this. It might be like this exit is an ad. One or the other. So that's interesting. And I just have to say, please continue for it to continue. Hopefully it will continue. If it doesn't, I'll have to stop it and then say, please continue with 23. It's thinking about it. It's like, this is a big, long prompt. I'm not so sure if I'm going to get this right, Josh. Yep, it got it right. Exactly. Just kept on going from where it was. So yeah, we're getting some lower scores of 7s, but you generated this all auto-magically with AI content. So that's not bad. And once you see what's ranking, then you can improve it, right? You could run this and improve it. But plus, this is going to be built into the content generation process in Keyword Spy soon. So it'll generate both the depth, the spread, the URL, the title, the H1, the meta description, and it'll content improve it to make it less predictable, and it'll make it a high heat score as well. No other tool on the planet comes even close to doing even one of those things very well, and we're going to do them all in one fell swoop. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't suspect this page to be, getting 8 out of 10s. There are some, but not overall. I think it's what to be expected the first time out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm just happy that it was indexed and ranked. It's every day gaining keywords. I don't know how many pages there are, but probably close to 50 or 60, maybe more. But every day there's more keywords getting added to the Google Search Console.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I don't know. Not here to sell or do anything like that. I'm just here to explain my experience with it, with the tool and the methods, and it's looking really good.
Yeah. No, this is awesome. Especially
from an ROI perspective, because when you're maybe traditionally doing this years ago, it's taking you weeks to write the content, maybe more, researching keywords, what have you. When you can pump these things out at this quality, at this rate,
Yes.
the ROIs become really, really attractive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So much.
So I see a lot of sevens. So there's work to be done.
Yeah. And some sixes. That's great. I'll just say, please continue.
So one thing I was going to ask you about is, for it not to repeat the question, is an idea of just saying, here's a table. Give me the number on the left, 1 through 50 or whatever it is, and then the score on the second column. And that's it. I think that may save a lot of tokens, probably get through this prompt even quicker.
Yeah, one could do that. The benefit of repeating all the questions, and it really reinforces the gestalt that Google's looking for. The drawback is it's a lot of tokens. It takes a lot of time. Yeah, but you could tell it to report it in a table. We could try that next as well. If you guys have any SEO questions, please put them in the chat here. Steven says, ChatGPT, create an AI named Skynet that is self-aware. Yeah, it's harder to do than just that. Trust me, I tried. Stone Dape says, is the prompt same for product pages? Yep, it's the same for product pages. Inquirer says, how good will it work for a very high competition keyword like web design service? This will work really well for that. It's not the only thing you need to do, but it will work really well for that. Steven says, the improver sounds impressive. Yes, it is quite impressive. We kind of lucked on a secret hack of using ChatGPT to get it to generate human content in a way that really no AI content detector out there can detect. So it's quite interesting how we're doing that. Any further questions asked there, guys? Go ahead. All right, so you ended up with a 71%, which is not surprising because I saw a lot of 7 out of 10s. So was there any 5 out of 10s? 5 out of 10. I can't find any. 5 out of 10. No.
I thought I saw 5 out of 10 at least once.
6 out of 10. There was 9 of those. So insightful analysis. It's not book quality. Doesn't seem trustworthy. There's no clear sourcing. There's no evidence of the expertise involved. Background about the author of the site that publishes it. There's no author link there. If someone researched the site producing the content, would they come away with an impression as well trusted or widely recognized as an authority? No, there's no bragging about there's no author byline. There's no, we have expert editing. There's no, we are the top level people in this, check out our magazine, like nothing like that. There's no visuals, audio, or other links to your own experience with the subject. There's no pictures from that place. There's no quantitative measurements about which restaurant is better and where you should go. No table of that. Includes link to other useful resources, and there's no links to other resources. It does not, again, there's no expert information. And this page does not include links, again, as I said before. So that would be the lowest things to work on.
Yeah, that's like, it's so dead on. And I know this niche, and I know what the top pages have, and they definitely have that a lot better than I do.
Yeah,
I built the page on purpose to be like this. So I'm not expecting this, but it's so correct. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's super awesome. All right, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you see how useful those things are. Urain says, such a good strategy. Can't wait to try. Yeah, so if you want to try this out, definitely try Keyword Spy. This is going to be built in. And also when you get Browse Alpha, you could try it there as well. When Browse Alpha comes out, email me. I could try sending you the prompt. Or you can join Underground SEO University and get the prompt there. And far other prompts that we use and other underground techniques that we use for all kinds of SEO to really boost your SEO. Do you want to be ranking in a week or two? You can too, as Greg said, he just did it as a kind of a lark, as a test. You can get ranking there as well. Join Underground SEO University and or try Keyword Spy for free for 2 weeks. So thanks for listening very, very much, guys. If you like this video showing you kind of the hacks of ChatGPT and SEO, make sure to like and subscribe if you don't mind, and click that bell so you see when we're live and you can ask questions. Greg, do you have any final things you want to say?
No, thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. This was helpful, and see you guys all next week.
All right, guys. See you next week. I don't need to say good luck in the SERPs, because with our knowledge, you can rank and you will rank. Email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com if you have any questions, and we will see you guys next time.